Welcome back to class. The video you're about to see is for a remote learning environment. And what I did was I engaged my students in a Zoom meeting. And through the Zoom call, we were able to open up the whiteboard. And that's where I was able to then solicit responses from my students, which I was able to do in real time with them. So that allowed for that student ownership as the students were able to think and then respond and then contribute and share. So take a look at the video. Again, throughout the video, I'm constantly reminding of the value of biliteracy, how the languages are so interestingly interwoven, and also the importance of the contrastive analysis. So again, it's a little bit lengthy because as you can see, it's the first time we're doing this together online, and it does get quicker. So the more you get into this routine with your students of doing this after every investigation or during every investigation, you're going to see that it's going to go a lot quicker and the kids are going to become... Bueno, aquí estamos y vamos a repasar las palabras que hemos aprendido sobre los insectos. ¿Ok? Y empezamos como hasta ahora, hemos estado haciendo todo en español. Vamos a revisar, vamos a mirar las palabras que hemos estudiado hasta ahora. Okay, so la primera palabra es chinche, insecto, hembra, macho, ninfa, hábitat, salir del huevo, apareando y probóscide. Una palabra grande, probóscide. So esas palabras ya lo conocemos y hemos usado esas palabras durante nuestra investigación. Ahora, como estamos en el puente, ahora queremos hacer un cambio to English. And now I want you to think about whether or not you know these words in English. Okay? So since we're online, I want you to think to yourself and try to think if you know any of these words. Okay? And then I want you to just raise your hand. You have a little raising hand indicator there. Raise your hand. And then let me know which word you want to share with us, okay? So, who's going to try it? Okay, very good. Insecto. So, I'm going to write it like this. And I'm going to step it down to there, and we can move that later. What other words do you know? Hábitat. Muy bien. And how do we say that in English? Habitat. Excellent. What else? Proboscis. Very good. Proboscis. Proboscis. Okay. Remember, if you ever see me misspell anything sometimes because I'm in a rush or I'm not really sure, you can always correct me, okay? Because we're in this together, okay? Or if you think it doesn't look right, we can talk about it. What other word have we got? How about this one? Apareando. That is mating. Okay. Macho. Yeah, very good. Male. Good. Hembra. Female. Excellent. Okay. Ninfa. Ninfa. That's a really new word in Spanish and in English for us, right? So in English, it's very similar. It's nymph. 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 Because remember in English, the PH makes a sound like an F. Okay, so it's nymph. Salir del huevo. There's only one word in English. Hatch. Okay, so in Spanish we say salir del huevo, but in English it's one word and it's hatch. Chinche. That's an interesting one. That in English is milkweed. And they call it milkweed because when you break the stems, the liquid, the juice that comes out looks like milk. Okay, so they decided to call it milkweed. Okay, it's always interesting to see why words sound, or the words they use, why they choose the words they choose to describe things, right? So that totally makes sense, milkweed. Okay, so now we have our English words. Okay, so let's go over them together. I'll say it first and then you repeat, okay? Milkweed. Oops. Not insecto. Insect. Insect. Chop that O right off. Insect. Female. Male. Nymph. Habitat. Hatch. Mating. Proboscis. Okay, so those are our English words that we're going to be using in a little bit. So as we know, our next step is we're going to draw circles around. Look, it even knows to go to green automatically. That's cool. I think I may make it a little less fat, the line. Okay, and we have a green line, so that's good because we're going to look for our cognates, right? So who can tell me where the cognates are? Excellent. We've got insectos and insects. Very good. Anyone else? Oh, we could do that here again too, right? Okay, good. Anything else that you see that could be that kind of sound the same, have the same meaning? Maybe not all the letters are there, but it's almost all the letters. Ninfa, good, for nymph. Obviously. Habitat, habitat, very good. Proboscide and proboscis. Excellent. Anything else? I think that's it. Very good. So those are our cognates, right? And we circle them in green because green for go. Okay, and these are the words that look a lot and sound and mean the same in English and in Spanish, right? So that's very helpful for us. Now, I'm also looking, because now we're going to do our contrastive analysis. So I'm also looking to see what else do I notice between my Spanish words and my English words. Anything about the prefixes, the suffixes, the letters, the way things sound. Do you see anything interesting about how the Spanish and the English may be the same or different? Okay, it's always interesting to see the differences, right? So who would like to try and take a look? Okay, excellent. I like how you notice that. Let's see if I can, what can I draw for that? I'm just going to draw a little. Draw anything for that? Ooh, I can just draw like this. So you notice that hembra, I'm not going to draw it because we're not going to talk about this time, because we have talked about this in the past, so I really want to focus on something else. But I love how you noticed hembra for girl and macho for boy, right? Because we've talked about, and we actually did a contrastive analysis, I think it was about 2 months ago, where we talked about how in Spanish we have gender, right? We have a for girls and o for boys. And here's a perfect example. Hembra is female and macho is male. So excellent. I like how you caught that. Fantastic. What else do you see? Yep, our eyes. Chinche, right? Very good. The E sound in Spanish versus the I sound. Good. We've talked about that too. Okay. What else? Yeah, you remembered. Excellent. Remember that we talked about how in Spanish the double L makes a J sound, like lluvia. Okay. And in English, there are two separate letters, L, L. And it makes a L sound. But in Spanish, the double L, el doble L, is a J sound. Very good. Excellent. So what I want you to take a look at, I want you to notice, and now I am going to draw, is how, I guess I could do it in green. See how this works out for underlining. What do you think about the H in Spanish. How does it sound in Spanish? And you may have done this in kindergarten when you learned your sounds, right? But I just want to remind you, okay, what do we know about the H in Spanish? Yes, exactly, está muda. Okay, la H en español no tiene sonido. Hembra, hábitat, huevo. Okay, and now you look in English. There's my H there, and there's my H there, and we've got habitat and hatch. So in Spanish, we know that doesn't make any sound, and in English, it always makes a sound. Okay, so that's a difference that I see in these two lists, okay, that we can focus on for today. All right, so we're going to now do our contrastive analysis, and while I get this ready, I want you to think about some H words in Español and some H words in English. Okay, all right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's do this. Let's do an eraser. I think we could just erase the whole thing. Cool. Nice. Okay, individual marks do individually, which is fine. Because this gives you the think time that you need, right? So now we're going to go to our text, and we're going to say blue, because we do blue and, oops, hey, where'd that come from? Erase. Okay, now try that again. We're going to go text. We're going to go to blue and make the line a little thicker, and we're going to hit text. Okay, so let's go over here to our left, and this is going to be our analysis. Oops. Análisis contrastiva. Oops. Análisis contrastiva. Perfecto. Ahora, ¿cuáles son las palabras que hemos dicho de nuestra lista, de nuestro puente, que corresponden aquí? Oh, primero decimos, ¿cuál es la letra H? Sonido. How about that? Sonido de la letra H. Okay. So, ¿cuáles son las palabras que tuvimos en español que tienen la letra H de nuestro puente? Tuvimos, ¿cuál fue? Hembra, muy bien. Okay, ¿qué más? Hábitat, muy bien. Otro más. Huevo. Perfecto. Ok, so, antes de escribir en este lado, bueno, actually, quiero primero hacer esta parte. Contrastive analysis. Okay, and the actually sound of H, or the letter, to make it same, H. Okay, and I want to move that because that's going to bother me. There we go. That's good. Okay, so now here we go. So I don't want to put, because what I'm looking for is sounds of the letter H in English, right? So this isn't like some of our contrastive analysis where we look at what it says in Spanish and we look at what it says in English. This is just about the single sound of in English and in Spanish. So we're going to do our contrastive analysis. It's going to look a little bit different. So this is what we're going to do, because we're always looking to see if we've got our cognates. Here. Hembra is female. So we're not going to put female here because it doesn't have an H sound, right? How about habitat? Habitat does have an H sound. Habitat. Very good. Huevo, egg, that's not an H sound. So I want you to think about now, so we have habitat in English. We also had, I'm going to put it down here. In English, we also had hatch from our bridge. And we had, oh, that was it. So we had habitat and hatch, okay? And I like to line things up, so I'm going to put that right down there. Okay, so now, and I'm also going to put, just because, I'm going to put an arrow that shows, ooh, pretty, habitat and habitat, that they match up, okay? Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Let's move this guy over. Okay, so now we have, I want you to think about, oh, hatch is salir del huevo, no? So it's not corresponding, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about some words in Spanish that have the H sound. Quiero que pienses en español palabras que empiecen con H. Oh, and you know what? You know what I messed up, right? And you didn't tell me. So this has to be black, because we say blue for Spanish and black for English. Okay, I caught myself, but you should feel comfortable letting me know, because sometimes we forget. Okay, so ahora quiero que me des unas palabras en español. Piénsalo bien. Alzar tu mano y déjame saber algunas palabras. No tiene que ver nada con los insectos. Mejor si fuera así, pero no tiene que ser. Nada más estamos enfocándonos en la H. Ok, so, sí, ahora que tenemos todo aquí y lo vamos a poner aquí. Ok, palabra. Hola. Muy bien. Hola. Otra palabra. Hierba. Hierba. Excelente. Helado. Muy bien. A mí me encanta el helado. Helicóptero. 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 Muy bien. Hojas. Perfecto. Ok, ya vemos que en español, hola, hierba, helado, helicóptero y hojas, todos tienen la H y la H está muda, ¿correcto? Ahora vamos a mirar a ver, por si acaso, yo quiero mover esto un poco para arriba. Por si acaso, algunas de esas palabras se pueden traducir en inglés y son cognados, para ver si tienen la H también. Ahí vamos, text. Lo voy a poner en negro. Ok. Hola, como decimos en inglés. Hello. Oops. What happened? Hello. Very good. Hierba, herb, or some people say herb, and that's interesting. Okay, so herb can be a name of a person, Herbert. Herb, some people do call hierba herb, and some people call it herb. So that's super interesting, because even in English, this could be without sound, like in Spanish. And hierba is also grass. So it's incredible how languages work, right? So interesting. Helado, ice cream, no H. Helicóptero, helicopter. Okay, that's good. Hojas, leaves. So that doesn't apply. Okay, so let's think about, give me a few English words. Okay, what have you got? Hippopotamus, hippopotamus. Okay, spelled correctly. What else have you got? Hot, very good. Hot, excellent. Healthy, nice, that's a nice one. Healthy, okay, good. Now, let's line this up. Now, let's go this way, okay? Because we can cross our bridge any which way we like. We can go back and we can go forth, okay? Back and forth. So, hippopotamus, how do we say that? Do we say that in Spanish similarly? Hipopótamo, perfecto. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my blue. And let's see if I can do that. Hipopopo. Hipopótamo. Hipopótamo. That sounds right. Hipopótamo. Looks right. And I got my accent, so I'm good. Okay, what about hot? Caliente, cálido, healthy, saludable. We're good. So what we have here is análisis contrastiva, sonido de la letra H. Tuvimos las palabras hembra, hábitat y huevo de nuestro puente. Hemos añadido más palabras y algunos corresponden. Ajá, tengo que hacer uno de estos. Quiero hacer hola, corresponde a hello. Hierba kind of corresponds. Hierba puede ser grass y hierba puede ser herb or herb. Helicóptero, muy bien, corresponde. Y hipopótamo, también corresponde. Voy a mover este un poco porque me está molestando. Ok, so entonces ahí tenemos nuestro análisis contrastivo. Ya ves que he estado hablando español e inglés los dos. Okay, I've been using both Spanish and English as we've been talking through this because I'm using my two linguistic resources. I'm learning how to think in Spanish and in English. And I'm also noticing how Spanish and English works. And sometimes they're the same and sometimes they're different. And the more I know about how they're the same and how they're different, the stronger I'm going to be as a bilingual learner, reader, speaker. Okay, so this is why we're doing this contrastive analysis. Okay, so entonces, aquí estamos, hemos regresado al puente y quiero que mires otra vez tus palabras en inglés. Y ahora vamos a planear y vamos a hacer, tengo planeado, unas actividades que vas a hacer utilizando tus palabras en inglés. Como ya hemos aprendido todo sobre los insectos hasta ahora, podemos entender y podemos usar estas palabras, ¿okay? Porque ya conoces lo que son. ¿Okay? Pero vas a practicar escuchando, hablando, leyendo y hablando